found with most of the copywriting books is they teach you all these tactics, and most of the tactics are really hypey, extraneous language type stuff, and that's what most people try to apply as copy. But really, where copy is the most powerful is when you can simplify your ideas down in a way that people understand it. One of the sayings that I give my clients is clarity equals conversion.
Welcome to Seven Figure Entrepreneur Podcast, the #1 podcast bringing you behind the scenes with real online earners, no fake gurus here. And today we have an OG in the game. Like, this guy has been doing what he's been doing since I've got into Facebook. I've done some of this guy's courses. I've done some masterminds with this guy. I've even been snowboarding with this guy, and it has been a lot of fun. And yeah, no further ado. Let's just welcome you to the podcast, man. Jason Hornung.
Oh, hey, what's going on, guys?
Yeah.
What's up, man? What's up?
What's up?
All right, love the intro.
Yeah, and Tyler Devin, of course, the man, the myth.
That's right. I'm always here.
Yeah.
In the background. He's actually just showing us his spot there in California. He's got a pretty epic view.
Yeah, living his best life. Do you have any masterminds out of that place? Have you done that yet, or?
Yeah, I did one with Dillard back in November. We had one, and then we've got our next event for customers coming up in July.
Nice.
That's
if
awesome.
Wants to know, party at Jason's house tonight in California. So if you're in the area, feel free to drop by.
Yep. I've got a pool, so we only accept people in swimsuits.
Yeah. And it's a $10,000 per person entry. You'll learn how to do online marketing at the same time, so it's worth it. Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
With that said, Jason, for people who don't know you, like, you're on my Instagram feed every day, so I definitely know who you are.
Yeah.
We've worked a little bit together in the past, but you want to give people kind of a rundown of what you do and what you're known for?
Yeah, so I guess people know me as like a Facebook guru, but I've been doing marketing and advertising for myself since 2005 when I started a business in the insurance space. But yeah, that's what people know me for now is, like Facebook and making traffic convert and scaling that up at really big spends to make, multi-millions of dollars and stuff like that.
I would say that, like, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but you're more than just like a Facebook guru. Like, you're huge in like everything from copy to funnels to like angles, like everything. You know a business inside and out when it comes to selling.
Yeah, I mean, I've done everything. So I mean, that's why our stuff works, is because my first jobs outside of high school were in sales.
Yeah.
I haven't, as an adult, I haven't had a job where I was paid a salary or an hourly wage. I've either earned commission or been employed for myself my entire life. So, like, it started with sales. And then once I figured out sales, I had to figure out marketing because, in my insurance business, when I started that, all I did was what they told me to do. And I just pounded the phones. Like, I cold called 300 people a day.
Wow.
I'd go into businesses and just like ask the business owner if I could quote their insurance, and I got pretty good at that too. But I mean, I did that for 2 years straight, working like 80-hour weeks. And I just got burned out. Like I missed a lot of time with my two youngest daughters. Cause my second daughter, she was born like 2 months before I started my insurance business.
Wow.
And my third daughter was born in the middle of that first 2 years. And so, like, things were really tense at home because I wasn't home much because I'm out working 80 hours a week while my wife stayed home with the kids, and, it just became really, really, really difficult. And I wasn't happy with my life. So I was like, I got to do something different. And that's when I just started looking for attraction marketing. And I found Dan Kennedy's stuff. And that's how I got started with marketing. And I started in direct mail.
I didn't know you were a direct mail guy.
Yeah. I mean, I started writing letters for my insurance agency, and that's how I got good at marketing was, learning copy and studying copy and writing letters to get people to call into my insurance business. And I, blew those things up doing that. And then in like 08, 09, that's when it really started to transition online. So I just took what I was doing when writing letters and I taught myself HTML, and I would write letters on basic sales pages and then send Google traffic to that.
Yeah. And then follow up the lead yourself?
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. How much scale did you get out of that?
Well, I mean, I took my insurance practice to over $1 million in premium volume is how they measure that. So, from zero to well over $1 million.
Yeah.
And then I left that book of business and switched insurance companies and was able to take over another book that was a little bit bigger than that when I did that. And then I used those same methods down there to, we were getting 40, 50 leads a week that were all like exclusive, high qualified prospects, where everybody else was fighting over these joint shared leads that they were buying from the lead companies online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
You've been doing
I didn't
it
even
for
know
a
about that.
long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that like that. And then from there, it like when I got sick of the insurance business in 2009, and I just loved the online marketing stuff. And I was like really kind of in the whole ClickBank world at that point in time. So I totally got seduced by that whole message of, just, sell ebooks online.
Yeah.
So I went and bought all the courses, and I was doing all that crap in 2010. I did like all these affiliate models, and I learned SEO. I learned paid traffic on Google. I learned it across all these different crazy, networks like Seven Search and, Pay-Per-View.
Seven Search still exists, by the way. I see them at trade shows.
Yeah, they're still around. But I mean, I've done like every single thing, and then when you're starting to do that, then you gotta do traffic. You gotta learn how to convert stuff, and so you just eventually learn everything. And then when you're around long enough and you see it at these high enough levels, you get to understand how the whole thing pieces together.
What was your first big win going from insurance to digital?
My first big win was a product that I created for insurance agents, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. So like an ebook?
No, it was a video course that I created on. Do you remember when mobile ads came out at first?
2017, I think. No,
yeah. And you could just click to call ads.
Yeah.
So I figured out this process with those that you could, and then we were able to drive like local leads in insurance offices, getting people to call in asking for a quote.
Wow. They must have loved that.
Oh, they loved it. And I had this $47 course I created, and I was able to sell that really successfully with paid traffic. And I had an email list at the time as well.
Yeah. So that reminds me of something. Maybe it was the tracking software like MobiTrax or something. Like there's only one software that could track that stuff. Was that it?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. I had all these .mobi domains and stuff that we were putting on. And then I built this service on the back end of it where we would build their mobile websites for them. So it was
really?
$100 a month upgrade, and then we'd build their mobile website so that and then just run the traffic for them.
Yeah, that's amazing, man.
How much did you scale that to?
Oh, I don't know. It was pretty low key. I mean, I think we probably sold $100,000 worth of that.
Yeah. Still a good little win, man. Transitioning from like doing the business to like servicing the business.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
So after that, is that like when the kind of like Guru Jason took off, and then you just kept growing from there?
No, because that was still like really, really, really early. That was before I like even started doing Facebook ads. So this was like late 2010. That was December 2010 when that product took off.
Yeah.
Man, I was like 12 years old then.
That's a long time. I didn't even graduate then.
2010?
No, that's a lie.
I was gonna say that's 9 years ago.
I never graduated, so who the fuck cares?
That would make you do not remember.
Yeah, it was a very memorable moment for me.
Yeah, right? Clearly. Yeah. So what were you doing in 2010?
So 2010, that was a year where I was just like trying all these different models. So I had two things that I was doing. I was building all of these info products for insurance people, and I kept testing all these different models because being a Dan Kennedy person, I was thoroughly convinced like the only way for me to really have controllable income was to have my own information products.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I was building all that stuff, but none of it was all really working that well. And I'm a person that likes to have a lot of stuff going. So I had all these other affiliate models that I was doing at the side, because of course I was also convinced that you could sell somebody else's product and make that a viable business as well.
Yeah.
Right. So I was doing all these models over here, and I would get some things working really well. for a while, but then I'd get, Google slapped, or, have my AdWords account shut down because they didn't like the models. And then after I was thinking about them, like all the stuff that worked was all just like slimy crap, like write these pre-sale pages pretending to be somebody that, overcame infertility and, with this, like stuff like that. Like,
yeah, those still get hit today, man. Like I have actually been surprised with the amount of like dick pill ads I've been getting hit with on Facebook lately. And I'm like, I don't know who's doing this, but well done for gaming that system, man. Cause it is aggressive.
They'll get you.
Yeah. Every time. And it's gotta be working for them still, or else,
for sure.
Yeah. Trial dick pills.
Yeah. There's even like legitimate ones on Instagram now. Isn't like that Get Roman a pretty legitimate one?
I don't know what you've been researching, but I didn't look that hard into it. So.
Unless you even Google what Roman is, you'll have no idea. You just see this like red ad. Jason, have you seen it at all?
Yeah, actually I have.
See,
that's awesome.
But
oh man, that's so funny.
So you're kind of jumping around, figuring out what you want to do. What was the next thing that kind of took off for you?
Well, what happened is going through 2010, I got to the point where in December, like I had burned through like all of my retirement money. Like we had like a $30,000 IRA that I had burned out, put about like 60 grand on credit cards. Like we had no money, right?
Yeah.
And I got to December, and like the last thing I had bought was this $2,000 coaching package from this guy named James Francis in England. I had met him on the Warrior Forum.
Oh God.
Funny story, dude. He's one of my customers now.
No way.
Yeah. Like I even just helped him with some crap in his ads yesterday in one of our groups.
That's so funny, man.
Yeah. But I'm on my last call with James, and it's like, I think it was December 5th or 6th or something like that of 2010, and I hadn't paid my mortgage yet. Like we had food in the cupboard, but like I hadn't bought the kids Christmas presents. I had like no money left, period. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like freaking out because at the time this was, during the financial collapse, and the insurance company I was with was State Farm. And when we moved, like they have bank products. So they like really encouraged us, if not required us, to like use their shit. So I had my mortgage with State Farm, and the through the grapevine, I was hearing at the company that they were foreclosing on anybody that was past their due date on the mortgage. Like instantly. Yeah. So I'm freaking out, like thinking, oh my God, they're going to fucking foreclose on me. I'm going to be out of my house. Like, like freaking. So I get on this call with James, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what to do. Like, here's my situation. Like, I've been doing all this stuff. And he goes, you ever heard of a website called Odesk? I'm like, no. He's like, well, there's people on there that are looking for people like you that have all these skills, and they got really good businesses, and they need people with your skills to come in and do work for them. You've got great skills. You're just putting them in the wrong areas.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And I was like,
there's a nice little paradigm shift for you.
It was huge. And so then I went on Odesk, and I started I built a profile out. I used all my copy skill to write this big long letter selling myself on the profile, and made it all, like really enticing, so it looked like I was like worth my shit. And then I went out and looked at some jobs, and I started applying, and I would write these big long cover letters, like selling myself using my sales letter techniques. And I had like the first 5 people I applied at, they all messaged me back like immediately. And I got one of them to hire me and wire me $3,000 within 3 days up front to work for him for 30 days.
Wow.
Yeah. So like it was 3 days from the time I had the call with James till I had $3,000 in my bank account.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
To help another company with its marketing. And then I went in and just did what I knew how to do. And then things just started taking off.
Yeah. It's crazy that one action step just like kind of blew up your whole career.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's all it took, was just like changing your mindset, be like, oh yeah, I'll just go try this now, and then boom.
Do it for other people, and then it's like, oh crap, all this stuff is working now.
Yeah.
And that was when it really opened my eyes to like how much bullshit is in the affiliate space.
Yeah.
And how like really difficult it is to make an information product work. Right. Cause like, you know, a lot of the stuff about like getting into info, what they would conveniently leave out is like all of the elements that really need to be in play with the offer in order for it to work right. Like they lead you to believe that you can just take this idea that you have or this expertise that you have, turn it into an info product, and it's going to automatically be desirable.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not the case.
Yeah, no doubt. Man, you know what's very interesting, dude? It's like one, all the work you put in beforehand to even get in that position to start marketing for other people.
Yeah.
Oh, and he froze.
Like
That was a very like long, like philosophical pause.
My thing cut out for a second. Sorry, guys. But as far as like to get to the position you were, obviously you had built up skill sets over the years, right?
Yep.
Like how many years do you think you invested just in learning paid traffic alone before you were confident enough to do it for someone else?
Well, I mean, so here's the thing is it's like, you know, like marketing is what teaches you to learn paid traffic, right? So, you know, I mean, I started paying for my own traffic right away with doing those letters, really.
Yeah.
You know? So I spent before I took on a client and was spending their money on ads, I was doing my own marketing and spending my own money on it for 5 years.
Wow. That's a long haul, man. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
And then the copywriting even on top of that.
Yeah. You have mad copywriting skills and you research hard into that, don't you?
I have a pretty good bookshelf full of books. I read a lot of deep psychology books and, you know, books on language and communication as well as copy. Like I started with copywriting books, but found with most of the copywriting books is they teach you all these tactics, and most of the tactics are really hypey, extraneous language type stuff, and that's what most people try to apply as copy. But really where copy is the most powerful is when you can simplify your ideas down in a way that people understand it. And then if you can add some of those tactics on top of it to enhance the language, then it makes it even more powerful and persuasive.
Gotcha.
But real copy comes down to just simply communicating your ideas in a way that makes sense to people.
Yeah, as quickly as possible, probably.
That's true. Would you say that that's like the biggest, key to marketing, more so than the tactical tools?
100%. You know, one of the sayings that I give my clients is clarity equals conversion.
Yeah, that's great.
You know, and I was just reviewing some copy that one of my clients sent over to me, you know, right before we got on the call here. And so one of the tools that I use for this is there's this website called HemingwayApp.com.
Nice.
And what that does is it measures what's called the Flesch-Kincaid readability score of your words.
Yeah.
And there's studies that show that as humans, we actually communicate verbally at a 5th grade level or below. That's what the average human communicates at. Now, most people, when they write at like this level that's really huge, and you can actually plug your words into this website real quick, and it tells you right on the right-hand side what the grade level is. So I just put in one of the, like these, I was telling this client, like, dude, your words are like, it's really hard to read this stuff. And I took one of their bullets and plugged it in there on the screen. And I was like, it said postgraduate reading level. Like Jesus. It was above grade 14. And then I just reworded the thing and quickly was able to just take the idea and rock it down to 2nd grade level by just rewording it real quickly. And it was the same idea. But now it was so much easier to understand it. It was way more powerful when you just laid the two things next to each other.
Totally.
Because it was like super easy to understand.
Yeah. Have you, I'm sure you have, but have you done that test where you have like someone's copy that's just so complex, then you just switch it down and instantly it just starts to convert?
Absolutely. All the time.
That's amazing.
That's so funny. And that's just a free little app, huh?
Yeah, it's free. Yep. It's all based off of this guy, Rudolf Flesch is the guy one of the inventors of it. And he wrote this book in the 1920s, I think, called The Art of Plain Talk.
Wow.
And that's been a really, really impactful book for me because he goes through because it really is, it's actually an art to be able to simplify language.
I can totally understand that, man.
Yeah.
Especially too, when you think about like how much attention people have when they're scrolling through Facebook or like whatever they're doing. If you can't communicate that quickly, you're going to lose people.
And that's the other piece is today, actually, there's other studies that show that with how bombarded we are with media, simplicity is actually what cuts through clutter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not what with our bodies and our minds, the way that our minds are constantly evolving is it takes all of this information, all this stimulus that we're receiving all the time, and it finds ways to cut out the shit that it doesn't want to filter through, right?
Smart.
And so when our brains see something that is too complex, goes, don't need it.
Yeah.
Sounds like my brain every day.
Yeah, mine too. I was bitching at my daughter last night because she brought this fish home from the fair, and of course that means now I've got to go buy food.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do this, and I'm like, dude, I don't want that responsibility in my life. Like, I don't need that.
A fish. I
Can raise a daughter totally fine, but fish, that's where I draw the line.
I don't need to buy fish food. I already buy human food.
Fair
That's
enough.
right.
I feel you.
Man, I swear, every time my accountant sends me an email, like I'll open that email like 5 times before I actually respond to it, because it's like just a list of shit that I don't want to spend time on.
Oh yeah, I know.
But that's so funny. That's very interesting.
What's since we're on the topic, do you have any more recommendations for books or any courses that people can do to learn copywriting that you've done that you really like?
Yeah. So another book that I'd recommend, and it's not a copywriting book, but it's a book on simplifying ideas and language. It's called Made to Stick.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I
like
like that book.
Yeah.
Nice.
That book helped my copy a lot.
Yeah.
But in terms of the 2 copy books that I recommend the most, Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz.
Yeah.
And Tested Advertising Methods by John Caples.
That Eugene one, that's an old one, isn't it?
Yeah, they're both pretty old. I think Tested Advertising Methods is a little bit older than
crazy.
Breakthrough Advertising. Yeah, Breakthrough Advertising is harder to get though. It's more expensive. They have been reprinting it, and there's a website by Brian Kurtz called breakthroughadvertisingbook.com, and you can get it for $120 a copy.
Yeah,
Nice.
Worth it though. Worth it.
It's worth every penny. For a long time, you could only get an old version on Amazon for like $1,000 to $4,000.
What? That's crazy.
Damn.
That's crazy. It must be good then.
Man.
It must be good.
Yeah. Well, before that, it was actually the rumor is it was the most stolen book from public libraries in the U.S.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I could see that though, just because it's so valuable. People don't want to give it up.
Yeah. I mean, I've learned all of the like super advanced stuff that I learned about copy and how to develop your copy actually.
Yeah, interesting.
That's what's really key in breakthrough advertising is, how to set up your copy for where the market is appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
How to set up your copy to have all these advanced ways to hook people in and get them to buy into your ideas.
Mm-hmm.
One of them that I'm using more and more today is this idea that he calls identification. And that's building into your copy, showing the person how they can become who they want to be through owning your product.
Yeah.
Using your product.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Man, that's
what I love is how old these books are, but like how they still apply to today. If anything, even more so.
More so than any. Yeah, they're all timeless because like back in the day, like dudes based things on principles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these guys developing this stuff. I mean, they were spending money on direct mail, and they were meticulously tracking this stuff. And they were super big students of psychology. And the fact of the matter is when you base like your copy and your marketing on like psychological principles, those things don't change.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
As much as things have changed, psychology has remained the same in a lot of respects.
Yeah. I will say that like and I'm the first to admit this, I'm a fucking slow learner. And just like in the last 6 months, I've realized how valuable copy is and how it can like make and break a campaign on Facebook. And before I just lived by the rules of like, oh, I'll find someone else's copy and rip it, right? Like, cause I just came into this game as like an affiliate marketer, and that's just kind of how my mindset stayed for a while. But now, man, like writing your own stuff, it's not even that hard. You just like reword some stuff, make it your own a little bit. And it's amazing how much it can take a campaign from like shit to like a winner. Like in the last week, we scaled, I don't know how much we scaled. We scaled a lot, but it's all because we just changed a little bit of copy.
Yeah.
That's all it was. Landing page is the same, just the ad copy is different.
I have a great example of that. I had this webinar for one of my products that, converted over $2 million in sales for me over like an 18-month period.
Wow.
Nice.
And, when I first launched it, the first ad that I put together, I based it off of an angle that through my research, I thought was going to bring in the right kind of person. And I spent over $2,000 testing this, and I got leads, but nobody bought a damn thing. Right.
Yeah.
And so then I changed the angle entirely to one of the other angles in my research that people said were an issue. And I drove that to the same audiences into the same damn funnel. And that angle ended up doing over $2 million in sales.
Wow. Bravo. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And
dude.
the only thing you changed, again, so the sales funnel people went through were the same. It's just the ad on the front end.
Nothing changed in the funnel at all. I didn't change the landing page, didn't change anything in there.
Same audience too.
Same audiences. The only thing that changed was the ad copy.
And that's pretty big. And that's a big thing on Facebook too. Cause like, if you can get that extra engagement on your ad too, I find that it just kind of opens up the floodgate traffics and you get a higher quality buyer or sign up. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Great example, man. Thanks for sharing that one.
Yeah, dude. That's
awesome.
I
see it all the time. I mean, here's another one that I tell people too, like, and it's not even just applying to your ad. Like I used to do all this high level conversion rate optimization for clients. And I had a client that had a weight loss product called Ben 375 that's still around. And at the time they were getting 1 million clicks a day to their website.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some fucking volume.
The first thing that I always do in conversion rate optimization is run headline tests. And all I did was change one word in their headline.
Yeah.
And tripled the sales conversion on the page.
No way.
What was the word? Do you recall? Free. Oh, free?
Free.
America?
Yeah.
I love it, man. That's amazing.
Yep.
Oh, that's crazy, dude.
I love this stuff, man. I love it because it's so amazing like how you can just change like one thing and like that just like changes like the amount of money.
Oh, here's millions in sales. Thanks for putting in a little work.
Yeah. Well, they paid me after that. They paid me $5,000 a month to run one split test a month for them for 2 years.
I love it. That's amazing, dude.
So like on that note, like not only like are you like a Facebook guru, but you run a pretty big agency and you have for a long time. Like you've been doing the agency gig for how many years now?
Since 2013. I had a Facebook client since 2013. I had 4 agency clients for like a year and a half before that. And I would do SEO, Google ads. We were doing LinkedIn ads.
Crazy.
And LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn.
No one talks about LinkedIn, bro.
No, you know what's interesting? I see so many people selling LinkedIn courses these days. And I'm like, I didn't even know you could run ads on LinkedIn.
This was back in 2012 was the last time I ran a LinkedIn ad.
Weird.
Damn.
Lately it's coming back. Like I see people asking questions about LinkedIn. I was like, I don't know shit about LinkedIn, man. Like
well, they got like a news feed now and they got like
really
ads and stuff. Yeah, it looks a lot. They're like making it a lot more like Facebook actually, which is
do people surf LinkedIn though? That's my question. I haven't been on there for years.
I don't know.
Like what would you go there for?
Like by LinkedIn or something?
Well, I've got a LinkedIn profile and like, I mean, you guys have seen like all my posting that I'm doing on social media. I've got this software that I was able to link in my Facebook, my Instagram, and my LinkedIn. And so that I can take one post and just post it in all those areas.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So I've been doing that and I'm not as detailed enough to like put all the separate out links to know which one's there. It's like way too much work when you're doing it at this level. So I don't know specifically what's coming from there. But when I do log into my LinkedIn like maybe once a week, and I'll see like my connection list is like growing like crazy.
Oh, wow.
And I'm getting people that are actually commenting on these posts.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's activity that's happening, and I'm assuming people are coming into my funnel because I mean, every time I make one of these posts, like we run this, all my posts, I drive people to this letter where we're getting people to apply for a call with us. And so every time I send out my posts, the traffic on that page goes like that.
No way.
So you know what? I can see the LinkedIn traffic being pretty quality just because of the target market that exists there.
Yeah.
Like those are business people, business owners, like CFOs, whatever it is, COOs, like people who have a budget to spend as opposed to like maybe the average user on Facebook.
Yep. Yeah, and Facebook, you got all kinds of Joe Schmoes. On LinkedIn, they're the people that know you, but they're also legit business people.
Yeah, that's true. So are you using that for your side of things or for your info product side of things?
Well, the way I designed my funnel is like we do this call to action to the call, and then we get on and we evaluate their situation and we offer them what's best. So that way we can go out for our whole product suite.
Very cool.
Man, that's smart. It probably is a better close rate than just like, here's an ad of buy my course, and that's that.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard a rumor that you had sold part of your agency. Is that true or no?
Yeah, I did actually. I have a contract for selling the whole thing for 1.5 million, but the guy defaulted on it.
What?
Oh, really?
Damn.
Yeah, we made it 3 months. In 3 months, he lost 60% of the entire book of business that we assigned him. So we did a seller finance deal, right? And in 3 months, he lost 60% of the business because of performance.
Wow.
And the whole time I'm like consulting them like I do with other clients, and I'm telling them do this, and then we get on the call next week, none of that shit's done.
Oh, wow. Damn.
And it just went on for like 3 months, and then it got to the point where I was like, like the clients that were left were my really good friends.
Yeah.
And I told them, I'm like, dude, I don't even care about the money. Let's just call it a mulligan.
Yeah.
Like we call it a mulligan. I'm going to take these clients back. You do take this. See ya. That's what I did with it.
Shit.
Yeah.
So how's your shit broken up now? You have your digital course and you have the agency. Is that pretty much it?
Yeah. So I've got the courses. Well, it's not even a course really, because we turned it into a membership now, because I've got all these courses that we've done. So an annual membership where we give access to all the course material.
Yeah.
They also get access to a private Facebook group where my team and I help them with stuff. So like what I do in there is every day, and sometimes twice a day, I'm just going through and looking at people's questions. And then I do a Facebook Live and I just do all their answer all their questions.
That's amazing. How much is the reoccurring on that monthly per user?
They can do monthly for $295, or we do an annual if it's right away for $995. Like we come into one of our funnels, they get that pricing for 3 days.
Yeah.
And then it's $19.95 a year after that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's smart, man. That's really smart.
I've got consulting in there too. We've got some long-term mentorship, short-term mentorship deals. And then we've got the agency stuff where we do things for select clients as well.
That's cool.
Very cool, man.
Does that take up most of your time during the week?
The agency stuff?
Or just like the mentoring and the one-on-one and the info side of things? Or is it
so agency? I work from 9 to 5 every day. That's how I've got my schedule set up, and I've got the agency set up but the thing that I love the most is consulting.
Yeah.
So basically the way I have my entire schedule set up is that all I'm doing is consulting. So like on the agency side, we have a call every day with the team, and I've got a CEO in the agency, and then we've got our media buyers. And we get on and we're just talking about accounts, and then I'm just consulting with them on each of the accounts of what are the things that they need to do next.
Oh, nice.
Then I have calls. I have one-to-one consulting clients. I have those calls during the day. Mm-hmm. And then we have group consulting programs. I have a 1-hour group consulting call each day. So I'm on the phone like 4 hours a day.
Oh,
doing consulting calls.
Yeah.
And then I spend another hour working on responding to clients in my info pro membership.
Yeah.
And then I spend like 3 hours a day working on my own ads.
Nice.
Nice. That's cool though that you can break it down to 9 to 5, because my assumption from what I've seen is most people that do agency stuff, they're in it like all day, every day, nonstop. But to be able to break that up into like a 9 to 5, that's awesome, man.
Well, that's because I don't look at client accounts.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you like what anybody's numbers
Yeah.
are right now because I don't look at any of that. My team only tells me if a client isn't making money, and I haven't heard that message in like 2 months now.
Nice. Ever since you took it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Dude, that's awesome. So yeah, you've been working with like big people like Frank Kern and shit, man. Like you've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah. I worked with Frank from 2014 to 2016.
Yeah. Now they got their own agency now, hey?
Well, yeah, actually most of the people that are buying media for them are people that I trained. I said,
really?
yeah.
That's
yeah.
all. That's
anytime
crazy.
Frank needs a new media buyer, he calls me up.
So
Hey, what do you got? What do you got?
Who are some of your favorite clients to work with in your past?
I really love working with Dillard.
Yeah.
Dillard's become a really good friend of mine. Same with Jeremy Sandow. He's not really super well known, but Jeremy's become like my best bud almost.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
Nice.
a e-com company together right now.
I love Jeremy, man. He's good shit.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ryan Moran's was one of my favorite clients that I've worked with. I really like working with John Benson, Kyle Graham.
Benson can write like no other. What was the last one you said?
Jermaine Greggs.
I've never heard that name.
Jermaine is one of the coolest dudes I've ever met. How I at first heard about him was when Dan Kennedy's newsletters back in the day.
Really?
Yeah,
So he's super old school.
Well, his first company he started so he taught himself how to play piano without reading music.
What?
Yeah, that's how much of a genius this guy is. Like,
Jesus.
yeah,
He's like smarter than all of us combined.
yeah.
Rain Man.
And his story is amazing too, because he's got his mother's kind of troubled, and his grandmother kind of raised him in the hood, you know. And he taught himself how to play piano at her place, and then he created this course called Hear and Play, where he taught other people how to just like listen to music and be able to play the piano.
How the fuck do you teach that?
Dude, I don't know, but it works. It works like crazy. I mean, he was selling them Dan Kennedy style on like DVDs back in the day and CD-ROMs, and then he moved it all online. And I think he sold like over $30 million of that stuff over the years now. And like right now, his family and him are just traveling around the world doing stuff. They sold their place out in Orange County here like a year or so ago to do that.
You must have cashed in well on that.
Oh yeah, well they actually were on HGTV when they bought that place. They featured them.
Oh really?
Yeah, because it's like that big of a mansion.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. That just shows that you can like, if you have a skill, like you can sell it.
Dude, yeah, and like that. But the other thing that Jermaine does is he owns automationclinic.com. So like when he built up his Hear and Play, the guy's such a genius. Like he taught himself Infusionsoft as well. And so he's been Infusionsoft's marketer of the year and stuff like that because of these baller things that he builds inside of there. And he's got a whole business on that too.
Good for him, man. That's amazing.
Like a really interesting dude, man. That's
awesome. I gotta check out that site too, because we use Infusionsoft a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like that webinar I told you that did 2 million in sales.
Yeah.
I paid Jermaine 10 grand to go out and spend a day with him at his place.
Yeah.
To have him help me put all that stuff together. Like, and like a big chunk of the results from that was all like his model for the stuff we did in Infusionsoft on the back end.
Yeah, and that's awesome, man. And actually that kind of segues into an idea I've been thinking about lately, because we get hit up all the time, like, what should I do? I want to make money online, etc. You spent 10 grand just for one day with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about like the investments you've made in yourself, maybe the ones that have worked out and the ones that haven't.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've spent a lot of money on mentors. The biggest jumps that I've made in businesses have all been from hiring the right mentor.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually how I got into Facebook ads. Was I had hired a guy by the name of Adam Spiel.
Yeah.
I paid him $15,000 and he was the one who gave me an initial model with Facebook that actually worked. I had tested it quite a few times before that and never had anything work, but he gave me a model for the technicality behind it that worked. And then I brought all of my copy skill and stuff into it. And then as things changed over time, this was back before there was even dark posts,
Yeah.
Yeah. Before the pixel time, just
before pixel even. Yeah.
PC.
We don't talk about the dark ages. Yeah.
It was the good old days. You could put up almost any ad and it would crush.
No algorithm, nothing. Just like, here's my ad, people, drink it in.
So cheap too.
Yep. But then, like another one, I've spent $70,000 a year for 2 years on a mentor that took my business from just under I started at the tail end of my first 7-figure year, and I went from 1.1 million that year to 3.3 2 years later.
Nice.
With what I learned from that mentor.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing, man. That's really cool. And I think it's funny because
consult or your agency.
Well,
it was actually what we put in place was some stuff on the back end for selling the higher ticket mentor stuff.
Nice. So high margin stuff then. When you're talking 3.3, that's not e-com 10% ROI. That's
no. We were 71% profitable on that year.
Beauty, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
About a third of the revenue was agency, a third of it was coaching, and a third of it was my information.
Very cool. Gabe, what was it you were gonna say there?
I just think it's funny how when everyone hears about this industry, they're all about like free info, which there is a lot of. But if you want to be an A player in this, like you got to invest hard. Like I've bought so many freaking courses, man, and I don't even consider myself an A player at times. It's just it's always evolving and never ending.
Well, there's a lot of ancillary pieces to that a lot of people don't talk about. Like the story I just gave of Adam Spiel.
Yeah.
Right. One of the things that, and this is when I buy mentorship, I go all in. Like I do what the mentor tells me to do because I've been mentoring people like for a long time now as well. And many people just don't do what you tell them to do, or they'll even fight you. Like they're paying you and they tell you your idea and you're like, no, that's not going to work. You need to do this. And then they just want to defend their idea. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's more about being right than making money. But so I just do what my mentors tell me. And then I share the results because like, if things aren't working right, I want to know what the hell do I need to do next, right? And so I was doing that with Adam, and because I was getting like these crazy results that he was sharing with me, he was also having all these people come to him wanting him to do ads for them, and he didn't want to do that. And he knew I was doing ads. So like, hey, can I white label you?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Right? And so then the first client that he brought me was digital marketer.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing, man. That's
I didn't know you did digital marketer shit.
Yeah. So back in 2013, they wanted to build out a new division called Funnel Experts. The fan page is still up. So, I mean, I did everything. I built their entire fan page. We did all the graphics for it. We populated all the content. I built out the entire funnel.
Yeah.
I built out all of their Infusionsoft stuff and all the back-end automations in it, consulted with them on the sales processes, and then ran all the traffic through it and optimized it all.
Jesus.
And, yeah. So we did
ran the business pretty much. Yeah.
We did everything except for the sales. Yeah. Right. They did the sales. Like Jody Underhill was pretty big over there running the sales department at that time. And then Roland was kind of working with him on that. And then Frank came in on that. Because at the time, right after I got that gig, I also joined Frank's mastermind that he had at the time.
Yeah.
And then I was sharing all the stuff that we were doing there with Frank. So I was showing him, yeah, dude, like, look, we spent like 30 grand and we made like, $350,000 this month.
That's insane return just for anyone listening. Like insane.
Well, it got even better because like in January of 2014, we spent 56 grand and we did 990,000 in sales.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
On a digital product too.
No, it wasn't a digital product. They were selling done for you funnel work.
Oh god.
It was like a $12,000 to $15,000 package.
How's that for a testimonial though?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Well, and then like right after, so at the end of January, cause like I was sharing this stuff with Frank. We started this in October of the 2013. And then that was the same month I started Frank's Mastermind. And so I'm sharing with him these results. And then he tells me in like November, he's like, oh yeah, I partnered up with these guys.
Yeah.
And then in January, at the end of the month, he's like, so, hey dude, you want to run my ads now?
That's so funny, man.
Fuck, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Franker seems like a freaking character, man.
He is.
Oh, that's another good point too, man. I always tell people, like, if you want to be in this industry, get involved in this industry. Like, meet the other people around. Joining masterminds, that's a great thing to do, because then for sure you have a seat. Like, if you go to an affiliate show, you might not connect with good people, but if you pay for something, you're going to be in the door and you're going to meet people for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's all about results, you know, like first it's about, you got to have access too, you know, because that helps. But if, you know, like if you buy the access without having any value to give, it's not going to help you.
For sure.
Right?
And I know I've been to those conferences where you've seen the person who's bought the access and all they do is like follow you everywhere you go, asking you questions, and provides.
Yes. Tyler's had a few stalkers in his day at some of the events that we've spoken at.
I do.
Yeah. But I mean, like that's when you've made it, right?
I guess.
One thing I wanted to touch on, man, and we started off early and then we kind of went different directions, but digital products, selling digital products. You were talking about how a lot of the time people think, you know, they'll make something, it's like they'll build it and then someone will buy it. And that's not the fucking case at all. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? What it actually takes to be successful with a digital product?
Yeah. First of all, it has to be something that people want.
Valid point.
Yeah, that's like the biggest thing. So like most people don't bother putting their work into researching to find out what people want and then providing that as a solution. That was like coming back to the breakthrough advertising book I mentioned earlier by Eugene Schwartz. The biggest thing that I learned from that book is, you know, I used to always think that advertising, and there's a lot of people that believe the same thing, is advertising, you're creating desire for your product with the advertising.
Yeah.
Right? That's not the case. And Schwartz says you cannot actually create desire. And that was really eye-opening for me. He says what you can do is, all you can do is you can find the desires that are already out in the market.
Smart.
And then you can channel them onto your product as the fulfillment of that desire. And that's what the advertising is doing. So in order to make advertising successful, and I've proven this out over and over and over again, you have to find what those desires are, and then you use those as your hook to hook people, and then channel that desire into your product and show them how your product is going to give them the fulfillment of that.
Can you talk about how you go about actually finding the desires in the marketplace?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, it's easy at this point because I've got a consistent flow of customers and prospects that I'm dealing with. And so I'm, you know, communicating with them constantly, and I'm hearing what their problems are constantly, right? So I'm always trying to just understand what are their issues that they have. So when you have a customer base, it's really as simple as just monitoring your chatter. Like what are the FAQs that are coming through? On email, what are people saying in comments on your Facebook posts and your ads and stuff like that? Like, how are they describing their problems? How are they describing the benefits that they get out of having your product, right? Why do they buy? Now, if you don't have that stuff, then you can do some research on your competitors. So, you know, I like to go to my competitors' websites, and then you can, if they've got a blog, you can usually sort their blog by the ones that have the most comments. And then you look at like the headlines, what's the topic, you know, and then look in the comments and see how people are saying, you know, resonating with that and saying, yeah, I've got this problem, you know. That's what I'm specifically looking for. What are the problems that people are saying they have over and over and over again? Because, you know, studies and all that stuff proves that we have a way higher chance to do something to avoid a pain in our lives than we do to get a gain.
Totally.
So I always try to start with the pains, and then I want to look at something that I can, with some deductive reasoning, determine that it would be a high likelihood that it would be a buyer pain. Okay. Because there's a difference between a buyer pain and a tire kicker pain.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
Now a buyer pain is one where they're in it right now. It's not like a pain that they're not aware of. It's a pain that they're acutely aware of right now. So for me, for example, you know, I hook my stuff around people that are having problems with scaling their ads right now, or they're seeing their ROAS decline, because and that means that they're already in it, they're spending money, and they need to do something about it now.
Yeah.
Right?
That would bring you a higher
point.
quality buyer too, I'd assume.
Well, and coming back to that example I gave you guys about my webinar, that was the hook that converted for me when I switched.
Oh,
my
crazy.
first hook was about writing ads, because like when I did all my market research, I had all these people tell me, well, I don't know how to write good ads. You know, now, and I made the hook all about writing good ads, and I would get leads, but nobody would buy. And here's why. Because somebody that is saying, well, I don't know how to write good ads, they may have never even written a fucking ad yet.
Yeah.
Certainly not running, more than likely not running traffic right now.
For
right?
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I was attracting too many people that weren't in the spot where they would want to do something about it now, or need to do something about it now.
And it's kind of like if you think about that, it's almost like one layer up from the real problem. Like not being able to write ads is really, I'm saying like, I'm not making money with the ads that I'm running. So I just need to learn how to increase my ROI. And which is kind of a bigger pain point than saying like rewrite ads. So,
and
that's honestly, that's probably one of the best examples I've heard in a minute, just because you're totally right. There's one buyer who's interested, not even a buyer. There's a market that's interested, and then there's a market that's desperate. Because if they can't get their ROAS, they can't get the scale they need, their business is fucking gone. So they're willing to do whatever the fuck they need to do to make it work. That's the perfect example, man. I love that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool. So getting back to creating digital products, we just talked about how to identify a need in a marketplace. Where do you kind of take it from there?
So once I identify that need, then I want to come up with a headline that communicates what I'm offering to the market to solve that need. Or I'm just trying to get them to identify with that need, and I'll come up with some kind of conversion process for taking traffic, you know, and converting it. So here's where, like, you know, once I understand the problem, then I need to know what I'm going to offer the market. Because once I know what the offer is, then we can construct a conversion process that will take the traffic that we're going to put together with the ads and convert them into the lead or sale that we're looking for, right? So if it's, let's just break it down in a simple one, being e-com for an example, right? So once I know what the problem is, well, I know my product already solves it, right? And I know my funnel is going to be probably a Shopify store, and I would start with just a product page, you know, and I'd want to just run the traffic straight to that product page and see if my marketing hook and my ad idea is going to get people to convert at the CPAs that I'm looking for. So I try to create what I tell my clients, we're creating what we call our minimum viable funnel, or our MVF. Because, you know, another one of the misnomers in the market is that you got to have this big complex whiz bang click funnel dealer jobber, you know, and people want to build these webinar funnels to sell like a $20 product, for example. Right? When you don't even need to do that, you can sell a $20 product with an order form.
Totally.
So we build that minimum viable funnel, and then we have all that language, all that marketing hook stuff that we came up with is all on there, and then we put it in the ad, and then it becomes this greased chute that people just fall right through into buying the product.
Very cool. As far as VSLs, one thing actually me and Gabe have been talking about putting together is some sort of like, I can't even think of the word right now, but like a lot of people don't even know what a VSL is, a video sales letter. And so we're going to put like a little marketing dictionary together. At what point do you think people should start applying VSLs to their funnel? Is there like a magical price point you would say, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, well, it again depends on the market and stuff like that. But if we're saying, you know, like information products, if we're still within that context right here, you know, VSLs are good for any price point. But I wouldn't try to sell something over $300 with a VSL.
Interesting.
Yeah. If you're trying to get people to plop out their credit card and give you money online, I wouldn't try to sell anything over $300, maybe $1,000 with cold traffic going right to it.
Interesting. Would you consider the webinar similar to the VSL, or would you consider that two different things?
Two different things. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
What, so anything $300 or $1,000 or less, you would be cool with the VSL, but not anything bigger.
No.
Interesting. What would you use for something bigger, like a $2,000 price point?
Webinar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Webinar or long form sales letter. I mean, those are the forms that I use and convert pretty consistently. The long form sales letter, not nearly as high as a webinar.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen webinars convert up to, you know, $2,000 price points. So anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. We've seen webinars go all the way from, you know, 1% of lead to buyer all the way up to like 3% and sometimes higher percent.
Damn.
That's crazy.
That's amazing. Especially at that price point. That's great.
Yeah.
Out of so you have like a pretty cool advantage where you get to see the numbers behind all these businesses. Out of all these online businesses that you see, what are some of the ones you believe had the most longevity and the most stability to them?
You know, are we talking in the context of digital products?
Anything online.
Anything online?
Could be e-com, could be digital, could be coaching, could be anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, every product has a life cycle to it, right? So like the businesses that survive are the ones that are adaptable, right? And they're changing their offers with the market, as well as they have if they're a digital company in particular, having multiple models is what really allows people to sustain. Like my business, for example, I've got information products, I've got consulting, I've got done for you as well. So that way I'm not like, I have a 3-legged stool to my revenue instead of a 1-legged stool.
Makes sense.
That's really smart.
Also with increasing price points and monthly continuity added.
Exactly. Exactly. Because like now, you know, like, because like when people get stuck in one thing, then, you know, when things change, they can get screwed, you know, like that's why a lot of people that, you know, have info only businesses are really getting pinched right now because of the cost of traffic going up so much. You know, they used to get like a 2-to-1 or 4-to-1 return on a front end, and now they're break even and they don't know what to do.
Yeah. And they got no back end.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Break even sounds good to me though on something like that, man.
I love break even on the front end. Give me break even all day.
Free leads. Free buyers, actually. Yeah, man. That's truly the key.
The cool thing about your 3-legged stool that you're talking about too is there's probably a lot of like rollover from one leg to the next with that same client base. So it's like evergreen.
Exactly.
On some levels. Yeah.
Everything's designed to feed each other, but then people can work with you. Like, one of the mentors that I hired that I told you I paid the $70,000 for a year. One of the things I learned the most from him was he said, you know, don't ever say no to people. Right?
Give the people what they want.
No, you just say yes, and then it's up to them whether they want to pay the price or not.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Right?
That's so funny. Yeah. That's cool,
Very
man.
cool, man.
Yeah.
What, so people getting started when they want to just like, I'm trying to think of a scenario. Maybe people like they've never ran Facebook traffic before. What would you recommend the very first fucking thing they do before they even start their ads?
JasonHornung.com.
Soft plug.
Well, we do have a lot of free content up there.
I've watched a lot of it, man. Like in the past, anyway.
So, I mean, before you ever start running ads, you really got to understand the entire process. I would highly recommend people I wouldn't necessarily go buy a course. I would get a few key, you know, books. You know, one of them I would get would be called Convert Every Click.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I've never heard that book actually.
No.
It's the guys who authored his name is Benji Rabhan. Rabhan. Convert Every Click. So it's a conversion rate optimization book. So
interesting.
Yeah, it actually gives you like really good strategies for how to like go about optimizing your funnel and understanding that stuff, because like the biggest mistake that I see people make when they start is not only do they not do the research to come up with their ideas for this stuff appropriately, but they put up their funnel and then they put up ads, and if it doesn't work, they just assume it's all the ads.
Yeah.
Right? And they don't know how to assess anything further down. and then they just keep changing all these little things on the ads. Like they'll change some settings and they just keep running the same thing basically with different settings into the same crap process, and none of it works. And then they don't know what to do at that point, because like nobody really goes through that. And the reason that you can is because it's 100% circumstantial, right? Like what you do once you've built something and you start running ads, what you do at that point is going to be different in every scenario.
That's smart.
Makes sense.
I feel like you need your whiteboard. I'm so used to you having a whiteboard and like laying it out.
There it is.
There it is.
I definitely saw it earlier today.
Oh, that's awesome. Just so everyone knows, Jason's always on the whiteboard in his like tutorial videos and stuff.
That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's cool. That makes sense though, to understand the process. We actually, there's a company down here in Denver, and they're like a $200 million a year company, and they're in the kind of like the staffing space, and they have a niche. And anyway, so I went in there and we looked at like some of their online campaigns, and they didn't even have their conversion pixel set up on their campaigns.
Yeah.
Like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Facebook 101, have your conversion pixel set up.
It's not for like most, normal companies. It's 101 for internet marketing nerds like us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Which is
really cool case,
how much we think it's a really small part of the universe.
Yeah. You know, it digests my entire day every
your entire life. Man, well.
Damn. Dude, well, we definitely appreciate you being on, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Are you currently taking on clients right now?
Yeah, we've got openings for good fits, across the board, from any level that we work with people on. Mm-hmm.
Define good fit.
Well, on the agency side, like we're only working with people that are spending $50,000 to $50,000 plus a month on their ads.
Nice.
Yeah, because for our fee base and what we're trying to do, there's got to be a large amount of spend in order for it to make sense.
50's not even that bad though in the scheme of things, man. Like
it's not for people that are initiated, but if we got a bunch of newbies on this call, they're going to be like, $50,000, how am I going to spend that on ads?
You know what's interesting, man? Is this podcast is like a big range. It's like noobs, and then it's just like some dudes would be like, "Oh, I really like your podcast." You're like, "You're listening to our shit?" Like, what the fuck?
You have $100 million company.
There's definitely people listening to this. They're like, "Well, I'd want $50,000 a day."
Yeah.
50 a month isn't a lot to somebody.
Totally.
But that on the agency side, that's the deal there is, like I just try to use a basic number that people can understand,
Makes sense.
But like largely, what we're looking for is really, really solid products, right? Like people have got proof of concept already. Yeah. Like I'm not looking to work with people that have they've got an idea, what I mean?
Yeah. You're looking to scale someone instead of just like start them from scratch.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't bring anybody in from scratch on those areas, but I will help people in those areas and in our consulting programs, and then I will help people in those areas in our training programs as well. Cause it's just, to be honest with you, until you've got proof of concept, and that's kind of a vague term as well. So I'll try to nail that down for people too. Meaning like, you've spent $20,000 on paid ads already, and you've been, more than 2-to-1 return profitable.
Mm-hmm. You're making money.
Yeah. You've got a decent amount of traffic showing that you're making money. Like, before then, you really shouldn't be even considering working with an agency, in most people's scenarios.
Yeah.
Right? Because, like they're not going to know how to sell your stuff.
Yeah. Do you find a lot of people try and come to the agency to like fix their problems?
Yeah. Most people come at that point. They've started something from scratch, and they might have put something up themselves and it didn't work at all. And they're like, "Oh my God, this didn't work. So I need an expert."
Yeah.
Right? But what they've done is they've gone through all these mistakes that I've already told you that people make.
Yeah.
And then in order for us to make it work, we got to fix all these mistakes, which then take us out of the role of just doing media buying. And then doing consulting, we end up having to come in and build their funnels, do all this extra stuff that we're technically not even getting paid for in order to make the whole project work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard to sell people on that stuff because they're like, "Oh, well, I already have it, ahead of time." And then a lot of people even tell you like, "Oh, well, I've got that handled and we can change anything you want." And then when it comes up where, like you're running the traffic and we're hitting all the numbers except for the sales conversion sucks. And you're like, dude, you need a new sales message. Well, I don't want to record that.
Yeah. Oh, crazy, man.
I love it.
Yeah.
One question I actually had for you. How much collectively have you spent on Facebook between you and all your clients?
Well, I know from all the stuff that we've done in our agency, we're over 30 million now.
Damn.
Nice.
You know,
That's some solid fucking experience.
yeah,
Putting up those numbers.
Where I can't tell is like, I've got like these consulting clients. Like I've got one consulting client that's spending over $25,000 a day right now.
Mm.
They've been working for like 3 months now, you know, so I don't really try to keep track of any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But within the agency, you know, we've been managing on average $468,000 a month in spend since 2013. So like 6 years now.
Wow.
Very cool, man.
The real deal. The real deal. Well, yeah, man. Thank you so much for being on. It's been a long time coming. I'm glad that we got it locked in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where's the best place for people to find you? JasonHornung.com?
Yeah, that's my personal branding site, and that'll link you off to all of our other places.
Yeah.
academyofadvertising.com is my membership site.
Cool.
So
I like that name.
We'll include links in the description on our YouTube, and then on our post on our website. We'll include that all for you.
On my URLs, they're long.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for listening to this. For everyone watching, thank you, too. Please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube, and for everyone listening to us, give us 5-star review on iTunes, Spotify, or Stitcher. Tell your friends. Tell your dad. Tell your grandparents. They might like it. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
Awesome.
Share it.
Yeah. All right. Later, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.